Great crowd. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody for coming out here. We appreciate the energy, that we had in the building. The amount of fans in there was fantastic. We need that to continue. All right. Credit to Davidson. They came in. They played very tough, very physical. Crushed us on the offensive glass. But, reality is, if you look at the numbers, I couldn't have asked our team to play as hard as they did. Couldn't have asked them to do a better job defending them the way they did. Gave up 57 points, and we held the kid Foster Lawyer to, one bucket. So we executed our game plan as well as we possibly could have. So credit to my guys for that. And they kept coming and kept coming. We went on a little run there, but we just couldn't make shots. Some nights you're not going to be able to make shots. And unfortunately, tonight was one of those. We missed some bunnies, we missed some layups, and then 3 for 31. It's going to be very difficult to win games when you're just struggling to make shots. Normally, you hold a team to 57 points. You don't necessarily have to shoot the ball great, but you got to shoot it somewhat decent or try to get to the free throw line. Usually, we get more free throws than that. They got 26, we got 14. That was a dagger. They made 18, we made 8. So that's the difference in the game right there. So, but again, it's part of the Atlantic 10. It's a grind. So we got to pick ourselves up, get back to work tomorrow, try to get better. That's what it is.
Coach, in the second half, you pretty much doubled you more than doubled your scoring than in the first half. What were the adjustments that you made offensively at halftime?
Yeah, well, they were doubling us, so they created some mismatches in the first half. So we made sure we had a cutter coming down the middle almost every single time. Rostic or Abdu or Khalid had the ball in the post, and they came to double. But I think we settled down a little bit. We calmed down. Our eyes were on the rim with some of our layups. Rostic was in foul trouble in the first half. He got going a little bit in the second, which opened some things up. We had some ridiculously great looks. Some of our threes, a lot of them were even uncontested. They just didn't fall. The same shots that fell the other night late for Zach Riley and Kyle Rose, they didn't fall tonight. Darius Quisenberry was out for a little while, came back, couldn't get going, right? So just one of those nights offensively. But 29 points isn't amazing in the second half either, but it's certainly better than 14.
Coming off last year in the tournament.
Yeah.
And the guys that are still here from that game last year
at
Washington, were they anticipating this game tonight?
No, they were anticipating playing at a high level and taking care of business. We're a totally different team than we were last year. They're a much different team than they were last year. But they were ready to play, so I give their coaching staff and their seniors a lot of credit. I thought the kid Grant Huffman, man, he's 1 for 10, 0 for 4, but he's just always around the ball. He's always making the right plays, right? And his statistics aren't even that good, but he plays just the same way every time. Kid number 4 played great. He made some big-time plays down the stretch. Kid Bailey. So the guys that we wanted to shoot the basketball for them shot the ball. That's why they only scored 57 points. Unfortunately, they did a better job defensively, kind of disrupting some of the things that we wanted to do.
With the deficit at halftime, what was the message going into halftime with your team? Because when you guys came out of it, it seemed like a totally different tone, especially on defensive awareness.
Yeah, you know what? It was more just settle down. We gave up really 27. They got the late bucket with 2 seconds left or whatever it was. We only gave up 29 points, right? So it was more like, okay, let's work on the offensive glass. They had 8 offensive rebounds in the first. They ended up with 6 in the second. So we did a better job of that. But it was keep them off the offensive glass. Let's try to get out and run, right? Because we weren't getting much in the half court, so we wanted to try to get out in transition, which we did. But unfortunately, we couldn't make the shots when we needed to make them. And then we went on a little run there, cut it to 8, I think, had the ball in transition, turned it over, right? So kind of killed the momentum a little bit. So we had some opportunities. We just, it's one of those nights offensively.
In terms of shot selection, are you pleased overall? Obviously, tonight didn't go in as much as previous games.
Yeah.
I thought you guys were getting good looks.
Oh, we got some great looks. They do a great job of taking specific things away, and our guys made the extra passes. We got some naked threes that, we got great shooters that put in the work. They got to keep shooting those. I have the utmost confidence. We continue to tell them, if you're 0 for 5, shoot another 5. All right, just keep shooting the ball. All of these guys have put in so much work in the off season and in the fall and during the season that they've earned the right to take those shots. So you can't ever just tell them, oh, no, don't take this one, don't take it. No, shoot it, live with the results, right? Defend and rebound, and let offense take care of itself. But tonight, the ball just didn't fall.
Take 2 more. Tonight was really physical, which is not really uncommon for you guys, but a bit uncommon for what we see, in conference play in this league. Is that something that you're going to try and bring into this conference every single game?
Yeah, that's the way we got to play. I mean, we're known for defending and rebounding. We're known for playing extremely hard. We got to continue to play that way. That's the way we defend. That's the way we got to continue to rebound, right? We just got to be a little bit more physical and tough on the offensive end as well. I thought, when you go 16 for 63, you only get 8 offensive rebounds. You're not giving yourself many second chance opportunities. Credit to them for finding bodies and being physical. We got to fight back a little bit more on the offensive end. If we're going to shoot like that, now you got to go crash the glass, try to get to the free throw line, and mix some things up that way.
Take 1 more. And tonight, in terms of you in your opening statement, you mentioned the size of the crowd and the energy. Is that kind of the vibe that you've kind of been looking for all season?
Yeah, no question. You're always hoping the building's packed. I mean, these kids have earned the right. They're playing extremely hard, right? Tonight didn't go our way, so hopefully that continues to happen in this building because we're not going to play like that next time, right? We're going to come out firing on all cylinders. I know these kids. I know they're more disappointed than anybody. That locker room, those guys had their heads down. But they executed everything we asked them to do. They played as hard as they possibly could. You got to live with the results sometimes. It wasn't our night. But when we have that energy in the building, these kids feed off that. You saw that during that stretch where we made our little run. I think they were up 13 or 14. We cut it to 8. We had some momentum. That energy in the building was great. Credit to them for keeping the energy a little bit down because we just didn't get going at one point. Now, if we had gotten going, the place would have erupted. It's a very difficult place. You saw when it was going, how loud it was. They turned it over 3 or 4 times in a row. It creates a vibe in there that's very difficult to play. Call it Rose Hell, not Rose Hill. That's what we're looking for.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.